Hello students, in this series of video tutorials, we are going to discuss next topic of your syllabus, and that is antidiabetic agents. I told series of video tutorials because the whole topic of these antidiabetic agents will be covered in total 5 video tutorials. So make sure you watch all the 5 videos to understand all topic. Before proceeding to antidiabetic agents, as we know, we have to understand what is diabetes, how it develops, what are its causes. So first we will see introduction to diabetes, then its types, then the role of insulin, and then antidiabetic drugs, in which major 2 classes are there: insulin preparations and oral hypoglycemic agents. So particularly in this video tutorial, we are going to discuss first topic, and that is introduction to diabetes. In that we will cover its introduction, etiology, and to understand development of diabetes, we will see glucose utilization in body, effect of diabetes in carbohydrate, lipid, and protein metabolism, and then its signs and symptoms. So let's start with introduction to diabetes. In common practice, we all use 2 words, diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. But nowadays, the word insipidus is not used with the word diabetes, because now insipidus word is used to indicate disorders regarding to pituitary glands. So diabetes mellitus means the actual diabetes. The word diabetes mellitus is used to indicate actual diabetes. How this word diabetes mellitus is developed? So first of all, the term diabetes is used by ancient Greek and Roman physicians to mean large urine volume. In diabetes, content of glucose is enhanced in blood, and excreted through urine, so urine volume becomes large. So to indicate large urine volume, diabetes word is used. And then adjective mellitus, which is a Latin word which means honey, was added in 1674 by Thomas Willis. What is diabetes mellitus? It is a metabolic disorder or systemic disease caused by either decreasing secretion of insulin or reduced sensitivity or responsiveness to insulin by target tissue. In diabetes, metabolism of carbohydrate, fat, and proteins is disturbed, so it is a metabolic disorder, and the level of insulin in blood is also disturbed, and it causes many macro and microvascular diseases, so it is also a systemic disease. Metabolic disorder because in that metabolism of carbohydrate, fat, and protein is disturbed, and systemic disease because in diabetes macro and microvascular diseases are also developed, and it is caused by either decreased insulin secretion, which is the main cause of type 1 diabetes, or reduced sensitivity to insulin by target tissue, which is the main cause of type 2 diabetes. Means in type 1 diabetes, insulin secretion is reduced, and in type 2 diabetes, the insulin is secreted in sufficient amount, but its response, its sensitivity is reduced. Its amount is insufficient to act, but we cannot get its full sufficient action by target tissues. Diabetes is characterized by hyperglycemia, glucosuria, hyperlipidemia, and sometimes ketonemia. As we have seen, the insulin secretion is reduced or its responsiveness is reduced. So, and the main function of insulin is to utilize glucose. To utilize glucose in our body, insulin has major role. So if insulin's action or insulin's amount is reduced in body, our body will try to get energy from alternative pathways, and in those alternative pathways, the metabolism of carbohydrate, protein, and fat is enhanced, and due to this enhancement of metabolism, of carbohydrate, the production of glucose is enhanced, and due to this, the hyperglycemia is produced. Then glucosuria means enhanced level of sugar in urine. Hyperlipidemia, enhanced level of lipid, and sometimes ketonemia means enhanced level of ketone bodies. It is the condition arising due to abnormal metabolism of carbohydrate, fat and protein. To get energy, our body activate alternative pathways, and these alternative pathways are these carbohydrate, fat and protein metabolism. Okay? Other than this, hyperglycemia, hyperlipidemia, glucosuria, diabetes is also associated with the development of micro and macrovascular diseases, neuropathy and atherosclerosis. Macrovascular disease includes coronary artery disease, peripheral artery disease, etc. And microvascular disease includes neuropathy, retinopathy, etc. Neuropathy means one or more nerves in our body is damaged or dysfunction, and due to this numbness or tingling is produced. This is known as neuropathy and atherosclerosis. How diabetes is developed, or what is the causes, what is the etiology of diabetes? We have seen insulin secretion is reduced, or insulin is secreted in sufficient amount, but its responsiveness is reduced. So what are the reasons behind this reduced secretion or reduced responsiveness of insulin? So in that reason, a complex interplay of endocrinal, immunological, infection and genetic factors are involved. In endocrinal, adrenaline, pituitary hormones, corticosteroids, aldosterone, estrogen, thyroid hormones and glucagon, all these hormones have their own influence on blood glucose level. So other than insulin, all these hormones also play an important role to maintain glucose level in our blood. If these hormones cannot do their function properly, then also the diabetes can be developed. In immunological factor, autoimmune responses, in infections factor, recent reports say that the virus have named encephalomyocarditis. When injected into mice, it develops diabetes, and due to this virus, autoimmune responses in the body are started, and due to these autoimmune responses are started, the level of glucose in the body is also enhanced, and which is the cause of diabetes. And genetic factors. Genetic factors play an important role in type 2 diabetes, while endocrinal, immunological and infectious factors play important role in type 1 diabetes. To understand glucose level, we will see glucose utilization in the body. In human, pancreas contains about 1 million of islets of Langerhans, which constitute about 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissue. And the cells of these islets of Langerhans can be categorized into 4 categories, which are alpha cells, beta cells, delta cells, which are also known as D cells, and PP or F cells. Alpha cells constitute 25% of islets of Langerhans, while beta cells constitute 60% of islets of Langerhans. Alpha cells are produced in outer cortex of islets of cells, while beta cells are present in medulla. Alpha cells secrete glucagon, while beta cells secrete insulin, delta cells secrete somatostatin, and PP or F cells secrete pancreatic polypeptide. PP for pancreatic polypeptide. Alpha cells secrete glucagon, beta cells secrete insulin, delta cells secrete insulin, somatostatin, and PP cells secrete pancreatic polypeptide. The function of glucagon is to convert glycogen to glucose, while the function of insulin is to utilize glucose, means to convert glucose to glycogen. And the function of somatostatin is to inhibit the release of both insulin and glucagon whenever it is necessary. Okay? And these delta cells other than somatostatin also secrete gastrin. I am repeating. The function of glucagon is to convert glycogen to glucose. Insulin converts glucose to glycogen. Somatostatin inhibits release of both insulin and glucagon. How the glucose is utilized in our body? So through diet, our intestine metabolize the diet and we can get glucose in our blood. Normal range of glucose in blood is 70 to 90 milligram per 100 ml. And from this glucose, our brain, fat, muscles and other tissues get energy by utilizing the glucose. But what happens if this level if this level is more than 70 to 90 milligram per 100 ml, then the insulin gets activated. Insulin is secreted from beta cells of islets of Langerhans of pancreatic cells, and this insulin converts glucose into glycogen, which is stored in liver. And what happens if this level is reduced than 70 to 90 milligram per 100 ml? Then the glucagon is secreted from alpha cells and it converts stored glycogen in liver to the glucose and maintain the level to 70 to 90 milligram per 100 ml. Right? Means when the level of glucose is enhanced, insulin is activated, which converts glucose to glycogen and glycogen is stored in liver. But when the level is reduced, glucagon is secreted from alpha cells and stored glycogen is converted into glucose. And whenever necessary, the somatostatin is also secreted from delta cells to inhibit the secretion of insulin and glucagon. So from this we can say that it is not the only level of insulin in our blood which is main cause of diabetes, but it is the insulin glucagon ratio in the blood that determines the blood sugar level, which means in diabetes insulin glucagon ratio is disturbed instead of insulin secretion alone. Means insulin is not the only factor to cause diabetes. Actually in diabetes insulin glucagon ratio is disturbed, and because of that blood sugar level is disturbed, and because of that diabetes is developed. So what are the effects of diabetes on carbohydrate, lipid and protein metabolism? We have seen in diabetes insulin glucagon ratio is disturbed, and because of that the blood glucose level is disturbed. Means the blood glucose level cannot reach to 70 to 90 milligram per 100 ml, and to get energy our body enhanced alternative pathways to get energy. And which are these alternative pathways? Which means conversion of liver glycogen to glucose, conversion of fatty substances to glucose, and conversion of proteins to glucose. Means carbohydrate metabolism is enhanced, and due to this metabolism the more glucose is produced, and this more glucose, which means hyperglycemia and glucosuria. Hyperglycemia means enhanced level of glucose in blood, and glucosuria means enhanced level of glucose in urine. Enhanced metabolism of fatty substances results in ketosis. By metabolism of fatty substances, ketone bodies are produced, and enhanced level of ketone bodies produces ketosis. And conversion of proteins to glucose produces ketoacidosis, means enhanced level of ketone acids. So we can say that due to all this process, which will be the sign and symptom of diabetes, means weight loss, extreme tiredness, increased hunger, excessive thirst, frequent urination, neuropathy means tingling in numbness, blurred vision, unhealed wound, and urine attracting ants. In medical terms, hyperglycemia, hyperlipidemia, glucosuria, polyuria, means loss of water and salt. Polydipsia means increase in thirst. Polyphagia means excessive hunger. Ketonemia means ketone bodies and fatty acids in blood. Ketonuria means ketone bodies in urine. Azoturia means increased production and excretion of urea and ammonia, and poor wound healing and infection due to immunological disturbances. And in extreme cases, if diabetes is not treated properly, then in extreme cases, the kidney damage, retinal degeneration, premature atherosclerosis, cataract, heart disease, neurological dysfunction and predisposition of gangrene is also produced in diabetes. Neurological dysfunction means CNS disorders, and predisposition to gangrene means diabetes makes the patient liable to gangrene, more prone to gangrene. So today we have seen all the basic information about diabetes, and next video tutorial we will discuss about types of diabetes. Thank you.